Hi, my name is Lauren Reese, and this is my presentation on profiles in leadership. So, the individual whom I chose to interview is my family friend, Matt Cheppy, Dr. Matt Cheppy. Matt previously worked with my mother at California State University, San Marcos, under the direct leadership of President Karen Haynes. Around the time of her retirement, Matt transitioned his career to his current position as a managing director at the American Association of State Colleges and Universities. He also teaches a course called Failures of Leadership at Creighton University, teaching students to learn from their mistakes and transition to servant leadership styles. He is a wonderful individual for this type of interview, as he has so much work experience and knowledge in leadership styles and strategies as well. As far as my justification for interviewing, Matt is someone who I've always trusted to give great career advice and expert opinions on various subject matters. He's a Catholic with a strong belief in using one's religion to do good to one's community and better all of those that one comes in contact with, leaving the earth a better place. I've learned so much from him just from this interview alone, and on great tips on how to be a more effective leader and further serve the best interest of my team and all stakeholders involved. Additionally, his experience in coaching major leaders, such as presidents of university campuses, which was a major draw for me when deciding who I wanted to interview regarding leadership practices. He's a wonderful individual who loves the work that he does, which motivated me to ask him why he enjoys it so much. He truly did not disappoint, and this interview went above and beyond my expectations, leaving me feeling like a better leader afterwards. When asked about the most important qualities that every leader should have, Matt responded with a very long list of traits. He said that leaders must have empathy, transparency, and self awareness. Part of being a great leader means having a growth mindset, which requires self awareness and a want for personal growth, seeking feedback from both employees and superiors to further develop into a better leader. Every leader should be focused on developing others and making a positive impact on their experience, requiring a great deal of empathy and care for the individual. Open and honest communication is a must and can assist when developing a vision and inspiring others to follow it using one's influence. My favorite thing that Matt added at the end of these answers was that a leader leads the organization, leads their people, and leads themselves. I then asked what the importance of trust is in leadership. Matt explained that trust is critical and is at the top of the list of what is needed as a leader. If employees or superiors lose trust, it is very difficult to rebuild, although not impossible. This goes along with the need of transparency as a leader in helping one's team trust that their best interests are in mind and everything will work out. Next, I asked about the role of effective communication in leadership. Matt replied that it is multidimensional and multidirectional. The leader must be transparent and open to allow their employees to be vulnerable and share valuable feedback. Leaders should be able to have a candid conversation and equitably provide feedback to their teams. Matt deliberated for a while when trying to think of who had the most influence on his leadership style. The first answer who came to mind was Jesus Christ, because he taught us to care about others and those in the margins of society. Jesus' teachings beg the question, how are you contributing to the greater good in caring for or developing others? For these reasons, Matt said that his leadership style was based on the Catholic teachings of Jesus Christ. Thinking of another example, Matt mentioned his former chancellor, Charles or Charlie Reed, who took the heat for his people and wasn't afraid to make hard decisions. Matt said that you always knew where you stood with him, and he was so committed to the mission that he would wake up at 7 in the morning every day to make coffee to serve his employees. My favorite question that I asked was what advice Matt would give to future leaders. He started by saying, don't be afraid to fail and to take risks. Another great piece of advice was to make decisions and own them. Finally, he mentioned to never think you are above your employees because you are part of a team and you shouldn't see yourself as a boss, but rather as a teammate. The final question was, how do you see the role of leaders changing over time? Matt replied that we must adapt to new generations in the workplace and pay attention to what they prioritize as important and how they involve themselves in the organization's mission. Especially as more Gen Z employees enter the market, organizations must adapt their practices and leadership styles to fit the bill of these individuals. For example, there are a bunch of Gen Z individuals who care about the climate, and Matt recently pushed for a company to integrate climate awareness into all of their programs. Corporate social responsibility is also changing the way that leaders treat employees and organizations are run. It is essential to ask, what are the needs of the people you're leading, the organization, and the society that you're operating in, both locally and globally? Following these questions, the leadership style that Matt's leadership most closely aligns with is the servant leadership style. When asked about key characteristics of a great leader, Matt mentioned empathy, self-awareness, and development of others. Van Deer and Donkin Patterson mentioned that servant leaders help others grow and develop and provide opportunities for others to gain materially and emotionally. Servant leaders focus on the growth and gains of others over oneself, which goes along with Matt's views of a great leader. Additionally, servant leadership characteristics include both empathy and self-awareness as core traits of a great leader. Matt also mentioned that Jesus Christ inspires him to be the leader he needs to both serve his employees and society. Part of Jesus' ministry was caring for those in the margins of society. Matthew 4:24 says, "And they brought him all the sick, those afflicted with various diseases and pains, those oppressed by demons, those having seizures, and paralytics, and he healed them." As Matt referenced, the teachings of Jesus influence his leadership to be based on how to better the lives of others and promote the greater good in society as a whole. Matt's answers to this question reminded me of Greenleaf's question, and what is the effect on the least privileged in society? Servant leaders like Matt take care of the needs of their employees and the less fortunate in society. This truly means treating everyone with compassion and using empathy as a servant to others under one's leadership. Lastly, in the advice portion of the interview, he said that leaders should not see themselves as the boss, but rather as equals that work together with their employees on a team. This coincides with Greenleaf's cardinal principle of primus inter pares, first among equals. Essentially, servant leaders always choose to serve the needs of others first. This means sharing achievements with one's team and crediting them for their accomplishments equitably. Matt strongly emphasized the importance of this core servant leadership principle throughout his interview responses, further reflecting his servant leadership style. Thank you for listening.